And I have already mentioned here in the channel that in 2016 we had a less than satisfactory movie with Suicide Squad in the old DCEU universe. And I've already told the story and everybody knows the story. We had a terrible Joker, a plot that made no sense, a very weak villain in the Enchantress. Although we had great interpretations of some of these characters, like in Will Smith's Deadshot, and especially in Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, which I made a whole video about it, and you can watch it right here in the channel if you are interested. But the thing is that if my mind doesn't fail me, I remember that I discovered the Suicide Squad group not by this movie, but by an animation that came some years earlier called Batman Assault on Arkham. This animated movie was released in 2014, directed by Jay Oliva and Ethan Spalding. And it was an animation that took place between the Arkham games, more specifically after the Batman Arkham Origins and before Batman Arkham Asylum. And if I do a very quick calculation in my mind, by 2014, when this animation was released, the movie Suicide Squad was probably already announced since it was released in 2016. So getting to know these characters through this animation gave me a very good expectation for the movie. The problem was, this animation was too awesome. So to be superior, the live-action movie would have to work very hard for it. And by the time we all watch it, well, the first thing that came to my mind was, the soundtrack is very cool, but why didn't you just copy this animation? It would have been amazing in the big screen. So anyway, after the movie's disappointment, I rewatched this animation many times, just wondering what made this story so cool and why I would have loved to see that being portrayed in the big screen. And every time I do it, I always confirm, this is very cinematic. This animation is just perfection in terms of interpretation of these characters, the dynamic between them, and obviously the best factor for me is that it takes place fully in the Batman universe with Gotham City, Arkham Asylum, obviously, and some of the villains of his rogues gallery, especially because the movie is called Batman Assault on Arkham. So the plot is about Amanda Waller calling the Suicide Squad for another mission, since here it is already a formed group, having some characters that were in previous missions, but having some rookies as well. The team is initially formed by Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Black Spider, Killer Frost, King Shark, and KG Beast that is killed very early in the story as an example to the others of the bomb that they have in their necks in case they don't fulfill the mission. The whole Suicide Squad motif. And their mission is to break into Arkham Asylum to get the Riddler, because he has been a member of the Suicide Squad in the past, and he hacked Amanda Waller's secret operations files and stole this information, planning to release it on the internet to screw with her. So the new team has to break into Arkham and get to the Riddler's cane specifically, where he keeps a probable device with this information. And what points this movie beats the live-action movie from 2016? All of it. Like I said, the team's interaction is great, and each one has a very specific individual role in the mission, with Deadshot and Captain Boomerang being the killers of the group and fighting for the leadership of it, creating a rivalry that was missing in the live-action movie because they both have very similar abilities, and this creates a competition between them. We also have a kind of a flair between Deadshot and Harley Quinn, something that was also teased in the live-action movie, but here they go full into this relation, including having a sex scene between them, something you don't see in animations very often. The animation also does the amazing job to explain why the hell a girl with a baseball bat is in the team like Harley Quinn, something that the live-action movies never explained for just pure laziness. Cause why would you need her in a group that will fight supernatural things, like they always do in the movies? Here you have the simple explanation that since she has already worked in Arkham before as a psychiatrist, she has a basic knowledge of the plans of the building, plus she also has passcodes that will give them access to certain areas of the prison. See? Simple and beautifully explained. We have King Shark, that is the tank of the group, although he is the only one I'm not sure about because his design and his mannerisms look much more appropriate for Killer Croc, for example. But okay, Black Spider is the smooth criminal of the team, being able to enter any place since he is kind of a ninja. And Killer Frost is the Joker of the group, no pun intended, because she has a side mission given by Amanda Waller in secret. And their superpowers and abilities are very well portrayed and very creatively used. For example, Killer Frost, since she is a freeze girl, she can make her body so cold that she is the only one able to portray a dead corpse inside a body bag so that they can enter the Arkham Asylum through the morgue area. It's genius. And like any story from the Suicide Squad, no mission is a mission without some betrayals, second intentions, especially from Amanda Waller, because the whole mission is actually an alibi for another objective of hers that I won't give a spoiler if you haven't watched yet. But the best thing, like I said, is the fact that the whole story takes place in this Batman universe. So obviously we have great cameos from his rogues gallery here. Like the Riddler, like I said, who is actually a very prominent character in the plot. We also have the appearance of the Penguin and his nightclub, the Iceberg Lounge, where the Suicide Squad team spends a night before the mission. And I love to see this version of the character, especially because I want this to be what we are going to see the Colin Farrell's Penguin become in the Batman universe. So let's wait and see. But the main star here is obviously the Joker, voiced masterfully by the actor Troy Baker. His version of the character here is so good and so faithful to the Arkham games. He's just a nasty son of a bitch. Miles away better than the disgraceful version of Jared Leto, and here the animation doesn't fear portraying him as an abusive bastard with Harley Quinn in their relationship. In fact, this is all he is, and you can see right away the control he has over her from the first moment they meet in Arkham, even though Harley tries to convince herself all the time during the movie that the Joker is past in her life, because they broken up. And this is the perfect version of their relation. This is what it is, and this is what it has to be. And that's what the 2016 movie was a chicken shit not to do. Anyway, and what about Batman? Of course, he is awesome in this movie as well. From the first scene in the animation that we have him fighting a whole SWAT team that was sent by Amanda Waller to catch the Riddler, and he wants to catch the Riddler himself. We just have badass scene after another badass scene with him fighting, and the animation portrays very well these action scenes with all the choreography of the fight. One of the main highlights of this first scene where he fights the SWAT team is that one of the members of the team decides to take on Batman by his own, using just a knife, and Batman kicks his ass so beautifully that he ends up breaking the guy's arm mercilessly in the end, teaching him a lesson. Like I said, the fights in this animation are absolutely cruel, and there's no hiding blood, knife stabs, headshots, the whole thing. This is not an animation for kids, by the way. That's why I think it's so cinematic. And this is something that the DC animations used to do very well in the past, right? Those animated movies were definitely better than the movies themselves, and I truly hope that James Gunn really takes the direction of the new DCU into this idea, what these animations were very bold in doing. Anyway, this is Batman Assault on Arkham, one of the best animations that I've ever watched from DC. This animation was released 10 years ago, and every time I watch it, I get a kick out of it. especially for being in the Batman universe, like I said. Plus, the icing on the cake comes that we have many cameos from other villains from the Rogues Gallery of Batman as well. We have Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Bane, the Scarecrow, so it's a win-win animation for anybody who is a Batman fanatic like me. And what do you think? Do you like Batman Assault on Arkham? Do you remember this animation? Haven't you watched yet? Comment below, please leave a like in this video and subscribe to the BATGUS channel if you are a DC and Bat fanatic like me. Soon enough, I would love to talk about other animations in the DC universe, so keep it up with the channel. Hope to see you soon in the next Bat video, and bye bye.